Haiti earthquake and strong 6.1 aftershock, the most powerful aftershock yet, struck Haiti on Wednesday, shaking more rubble from damaged buildings and sending screaming, frightened people running into the streets 8 days after the country's capital was devastated by a massive earthquake. The magnitude 6.1 trembler was the largest of more than 40 significant aftershocks that have followed the January 12th quake. The extent of additional damage or injuries was not immediately known. Wails of terror rose from frightened survivors as the earth shuddered at 6:03 a.m. U.S. soldiers and tent city refugees alike raced for open ground, and clouds of dust rose in the capital again. The U.S. Geological Survey said Wednesday's quake was centered some 35 miles northwest of Port-au-Prince and 6.2 miles below the surface, a little further from the capital than last week's epicenter was. It kind of felt like standing on a board on top of a ball, said U.S. Army Staff Sergeant Stephen Payne. The 27-year-old from Jolo, West Virginia, was preparing to hand out food to refugees in a tent camp of 25,000 quake victims when the aftershock hit. Last week's magnitude 7.0 quake killed an estimated 200,000 people in Haiti, left at least 250,000 injured, and made more than 1.5 million people homeless, according to the European Union Commission. I want to get out. The strong aftershock prompted one man, 28, to grab his wife and 3 children and head to the city bus station. His house was destroyed in the first quake, and his sister and brother killed. I've seen the situation here, and I want to get out, he said. A massive international aid effort has been struggling with logistical problems, and many Haitians are still desperate for food and water. Still, though, search and rescue teams have emerged from the ruins with some improbable success stories or miracles, including the rescue of a 69-year-old ardent Roman Catholic who said she prayed constantly during her week under the rubble. Thank God. She also said that she had talked to her boss, God. Yes, miracles can still happen. Elsewhere in the capital, 2 women were pulled from a destroyed university building. And near midnight on Tuesday, a smiling and singing 26-year-old was carried to safety from a collapsed store. Authorities said close to 100 people had been pulled from wrecked buildings by international search and rescue teams. Efforts continued, with dozens of teams hunting through Port-au-Prince's crumbled homes and buildings for signs of life. But the good news was overshadowed by the frustrating fact that the world still can't get enough food and water to the hungry and thirsty. We need so much. Food, clothes, we need everything. I don't know whose responsibility it is, but they need to give us something soon, said a 29-year-old mother of 2 who has been living under a bedsheet with 7 members of her extended family. The World Food Program said more than 250,000 ready-to-eat food rations had been distributed in Haiti by Tuesday, reaching only a fraction of the 3 million people thought to be in desperate need. So in other words, how do you feed 3 million people daily, day by day? The WFP said it needs to deliver 100 million ready-to-eat rations in the next 30 days, but it only had 16 million meals in the pipeline. Even as U.S. troops landed in Seahawk helicopters on the manicured lawn of the ruined National Palace, the colossal efforts to help Haiti were proving inadequate because of the huge scale of the disaster. Expectations exceeded what money, will, and military might have been able to achieve. So far, international relief efforts have been unorganized, disjointed, and insufficient to satisfy the great need. Doctors Without Borders says a plane carrying urgently needed surgical equipment and drugs has been turned away 5 times, even though the agency received advance authorization to land. A statement from Partners in Health, co-founded by the Deputy United Nations Envoy to Haiti, Dr. Paul Farmer, said the group's medical director estimated 20,000 people are dying each day who could be saved by surgery. Tens of thousands of earthquake victims need emergency surgical care now, the group said in a statement. Again, this was a massive or huge catastrophe. So far, governments have pledged nearly $1 billion in aid, and thousands of tons of food and medical supplies have been shipped. But much remains trapped in warehouses or diverted to the neighboring Dominican Republic, Port-au-Prince's non-functioning seaport, and many impassable roads complicate efforts to get aid to the people. Aid is being turned back from the single runway airport, where the U.S. military has been criticized by some of poorly prioritizing flights. The U.S. Air Force said it had raised the faculty's daily capacity from 30 flights before the quake to 180 on Tuesday. Some 2,200 U.S. Marines established a beachhead west of Port-au-Prince on Tuesday to help speed aid delivery, in addition to 9,000 Army soldiers already on the ground. U.S. Defense Secretary Robert Gates said the military will send a port-clearing ship with cranes aboard to Port-au-Prince to remove debris that is preventing many larger aid ships from docking. The United Nations was sending in reinforcements as well. The Security Council voted to add 2,000 peacekeepers to the 7,000 already in Haiti and 1,500 more police to the 2,100 strong international force. Hanging over the entire effort was an overwhelming fear among relief officials that Haitians' desperation would boil over into violence. We're very concerned about the level of security we need around our people when we're doing distributions. Occasionally, those fears have been borne out. Looters rampaged through part of downtown Port-au-Prince on Tuesday, just 4 blocks from where U.S. troops landed at the presidential palace. Hundreds and hundreds of looters fought over bolts of cloth and other goods with broken bottles and clubs. USGS geophysicist Bruce Pressgrave said nobody knows if a still stronger aftershock is possible. Aftershocks sometimes die out very quickly, he said, but in other cases, they can go on for weeks, or they could go on for months, as the Earth adjusts to new stresses caused by the initial quake. So yes, there could be more strong aftershocks. Adding to the disaster or catastrophe in Haiti. And this is an earthquake or disaster like never seen before in the history of humankind. And again, These are more signs of the end times, transition days. A great, huge transition is going on all around the world. And these are more signs.